Hey Finders, welcome back to Fortune Finds. I'm going to be reviewing ColourPop's FFFAM eyeshadow palette. If you don't know much about this palette, it is a cool toned palette. I just feel like a lot of brands come out with warm tone palettes. I feel like it's been so instilled in everyone's mind that like warm tones are where it's at when it comes to shadow. But I personally really do like cool tones, so I'm excited to dive into this one. This is not a first impressions video. I have been playing around with this palette for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. I've done a few looks with it, and unlike my last video, this one was a win. This eyeshadow palette is great. I love how it blends. The colors are awesome. There are 16 shadows in this eyeshadow palette. 8 are matte, 6 are shimmers, and I believe 2 are satin. So then once you take it out, this is what the actual packaging looks like. So I really do love the blue. Like I think this is so cute, and I always take my products out of the cartons and simply like toss this, but I really do like this, so I have been keeping it in the carton. Now it does have the names of the shadows on the back. It also has the name of each shadow in the palette, so that's something that I really love. I find that it can be a little confusing when the shadow names are on the back, so this will go smoothly today when I'm calling out what I'm using because I won't even have to think about it. When you look at this palette, it looks like it is a cool tone brown palette. Now, I'm gonna be honest, when I received this palette, I looked at it and thought like, it's alright, there's nothing that exciting about it, but when you put it on, this is a really nice staple everyday palette, but you can pump it up to make it something a little bit more fun. So I'm excited to get into today's look. I'm going to do a smoky yet like halo eye, so we're going to do a little something different. I really wanted to do a halo today because I feel like the last time I did a halo on my channel was like when I first started my YouTube channel, and it was like an epic fail. I don't really recommend watching it because it's a little embarrassing. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. As always, I will swatch these for you so you guys get an idea of what all the shadows look like, and yeah, so let's get on to it. Okay, so I've already primed my eyes using my Tarte Tape Shape Concealer, taking that shade Delirium on a fluffy brush, and I'm just patting that all over the eye. And this is just setting the concealer that we've already put on the eye, and it's going to ensure that the shadow goes on a little bit smoother, that it doesn't grab on to the lid, and you know, makes it blend out a little bit easier for all of us. You're just putting this everywhere. It doesn't need to be precise. There's really no method to this particular madness. This is a JH32 blending brush, and I'm going to grab the shade Stardom right here, and I'm just gonna start to build up the crease. So I'm gonna go starting on the outer edge of the eye, and I'm just gonna bring that in. Now, if you are new to my channel, I have somewhat hooded eyes, which means like when I open my eyes, I lose a lot of my lid space. So for me, I don't go directly into the crease, I go a little bit above it. This way you can see all the blending and hard work I've done. I like to wing it out a little bit just to make my eye look a little bit bigger. Windshield wiper motions back and forth, just really ensuring that that is blended out. Now, I have never used ColourPop eyeshadows before, and what I will say is that they blend so well. They're so creamy and they're so easy to work with. I'm really enjoying this palette. It does have a sister palette named Fortune and Fame, get it? And I do have a Fame tattoo on my wrist. I did not buy the Fortune palette simply because I'm trying to cut back on my makeup spending, because a lot of the makeup that I feature on my channel, unless otherwise stated, I purchase myself. The Fame palette really spoke to me. It's very different than everything that I own, and have this Fame tattoo on me, you might think because like Fortune and Fame, like so cliche and so basic, which again, I don't mind being basic. But when I was little, obviously my parents named me Fortune, my mom wanted to name me Fortune, and then my sister came along after me and my mom wanted to name her Fame, but my dad was like, absolutely not, like you cannot name both of our children Fortune and Fame, like that's ridiculous. So my sister's name is Gianna, but I got this tattoo for her because my sister and I are super close, and she has a tattoo here that says Sorelle, which means sister in Italian. So not that you guys need to know that, but that was a little reason why I bought this palette. Now I'm going to hop into the shade Clubhouse, a duller brown shade, almost like a little purpley. This is a Glamour Dolls blending brush. I'm just gonna dip that into the shade, tap off the excess, and just go in the same exact location we were just in, doing the same exact thing. So we really just want to blend out the crease make it look really nice and give us like that pop of color. Now, as you can see, like these shadows, when you look at them, they look very brown, like cool tone browns, but they're going on purpley and pinkish, which is really interesting and not something that I was expecting in this palette. But for me, it was a pleasant surprise because I really do like pinks and purples, especially because I have brown eyes. I think that those tones tend to make my eyes pop. I'm gonna go in with a different blending brush. This is a Morphe M575, and I'm going to grab the shade Razzle, tap off the excess, and now with this shade, I'm gonna keep it to the outer portion of the crease. So just gonna start darkening up that outer section. So I'm gonna focus it on there, and then I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna dip it in again. And you can like bring it down a little bit into the outer third of the lid. And then when you know that there's really not a lot of shadow left on the brush, you can just drag it in like so. Now I'm gonna go into the darkest shade in the palette, which is called Lifestyle. I'm gonna grab that on a flat shadow brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to keep this to the outer third of the eye and the inner third of the eye. And we're gonna leave the very middle of the lid bare because again, we're gonna do a little halo, cut, crease, whatever the heck you wanna call it kind of thing. Now I am just building it very, very slowly. For me, I have very minimal eye space, so I just like to work it in slowly. This is a really dark shade to work with, and there's really no rush. Just take your time and just bring that right below the crease. You don't want to pack this too much into the crease. You want to keep this on the lid. I'm just going to do the inner third of the eye, so you can really raise your lids. So see, we're leaving the middle of the eye bare. And that's exactly where we're going to put our concealer to create that cut crease. I'm going to be using the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer. It doesn't matter what concealer you use. I'm just really not a fan of this concealer, so I'm going to use it on the lids because, hey, we all spend money on our makeup, like, might as well use it somewhere. This is a Japanesque, just like concealer brush, and I'm just going to place that very carefully. A little trick that I like to do, and most makeup artists do, is look up, and that will show you like where exactly to stop the cut crease. Now, if you're not sure how much to cover your lid, add the concealer to about the width of your pupil. So that is a trick that I have taught myself. I'm sure maybe other people have said that, but I've never heard anyone explain that. It's just a trick that I like to do and something that I learned in trying to master a halo eye. We're gonna go straight into the shade Debutante, which is like a pretty cool toned, obviously purpley silver shadow, flat shadow brush. Going right into that, and I'm just going to stamp that over the concealer we just applied. I'm going to be taking a pencil brush. This is just a Smashbox pencil brush that came in my full exposure palette, and this is the shade called Blasé. I'm just gonna stamp that over where the halo meets that outer shadow. So right here. It's almost like a green. It's so pretty. I'm gonna go back into that Lifestyle shade, which is the darkest purpley brown black shade. I don't even know. And I'm gonna use that same blending brush, that same pencil brush, and just dab that on the outer portion of the eye. Put it on the inner third of the eye again. I'm just gonna take a blending brush, so I'm just gonna grab this Glamour one, and I'm gonna go back into the shade Clubhouse right here, which we've already used, and I'm just gonna pack that very gently over the crease. and I'm just gonna highlight the arch of the eye. To highlight today, I'm going to first take Celeb, which is this off-white pinky matte tone. I'm gonna take the angle brush, dip it in there, and I'm just gonna bring that underneath the arch of my brow. Let's go into the same brush, and I'm just gonna keep that to the very highest point of my brow. So just for like that pop. So I'm just keeping it right there. See how that gives like a just like pop. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is just a Japanese blending brush. I'm gonna go back into that Clubhouse shade that we used in the crease, and I'm just gonna smoke out the lower lash line. And then you can connect it to the outer corner. Now, another thing that I usually have been lately liking to do, that make any sense what I just said, is I like to mimic what's on the top of my eye to the lower portion of my eye. Let's go back in with that pencil brush Lifestyle, which is that darkest shade in the palette, and I'm just gonna stamp that on the outer third and inner third like we did with the top of the eye. And then for the middle of the eye, I'm gonna take that debutante shade to mimic the actual halo that we did. To just smoke it out so it doesn't look as like color block, you know? I'm gonna go back in with a blending brush, take the shade Razzle right here. And I'm just gonna smoke that out. So I'm gonna go a little lower than where I put the shadows and just bring it down a little bit. I want to connect this outer third, so I'm going to go back in with a pencil brush. I'm going to grab that dark Lifestyle shade, and I'm just going to gently connect the outer portion of the eye. All right, I'm going to go in with this Lorac black liquid eyeliner, and I'm just going to do a very tight lined liner. So nothing crazy. You can do a wing, you can wing it out. Maybe let's wing it out like a little bit. There we go. That's about as crazy as my wing's gonna get. So I'm just gonna be using my Makeup Forever Excessive Lash Mascara, and I'm just gonna coat the upper and lower lashes. All right, guys, and that is one eye complete. I love how it came out. Now I'm gonna hop off camera and pray to Lord Jesus that I can do the other eye to look exactly the same. So give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so that is both eyes on. Now what I totally and completely forgot to do was highlight the inner corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with you guys. Showboat one last time, that iridescent opal pinky shade. I'm going to grab that on a pencil brush. I'm just gonna highlight the inner corner, just to like brighten the eye look a little bit and open up the eyes. See how much more like open and big our eyes look when we do that? I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these guys for you. So we're gonna go and we're gonna start off with the first row, the second and third row, the very last row of the palette. I think that pretty much this entire palette swatched beautifully, but before we get into our high and really no low but low notes of this palette, let's go ahead and throw on a lip. I'm going to be using my Bare Minerals Gen Nude Matte Liquid Lip. This is in the shade Slay, and I really love this shade, and I feel like it's the perfect nude, especially for this look we have going. Alright guys, and there we have the finished makeup look. I'm really excited and happy with how this came out. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it came out a lot better than my last halo eye that I attempted on my YouTube channel. So I'm pretty happy with how this came out. And again, this is a testament to not only myself, but to you guys. Like, especially if you watch that video of mine, like you can come really, really far. It just takes practice, determination, and I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm really, really, really excited. I know this is like so cheesy and so lame, but I haven't been able to master a halo eye in a while. And to be totally honest, after the first time I did it on my YouTube channel and I watched it back a month or so later, I was really embarrassed. And I, you know, as most people, like if you're not good at something, you should tend to stay away from things that you're not good and tend to lean towards things that you are good at. So I'm really excited about how this came out, and I'm really babbling. It goes to show like how excited I am about it though. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this palette really quickly. So I feel like there's not a lot to say about it. I think you guys really got the gist of it and really saw how I felt about it. It's a beautiful palette. I love it. I think the shades in here are marvelous. They're beautiful. I opened it and was kind of just like, whatever. Kind of boring. I don't know. I just wasn't excited about it. But then once I really got it on the eyes and began playing with it, I quickly fell in love with this palette. I think it's beautiful for every day. I think it's beautiful for something more dramatic like we did today. I'm really excited to dive more into ColourPop eyeshadow palettes because this was just so stunning, and the way all of the colors blended together, it really like, it just like made me honestly feel some type of way. I kind of want to buy the Fortune palette now, to be totally honest. So maybe I will buy that and we can do like a part 2 of this collection. The only downsides for me, which are really petty and stupid, but I feel like this is a review channel, so I need to give you guys my full on thoughts. I don't really love the packaging. While it's fun, I do kind of like basic, like more sophisticated looking designs on the front. Super petty. It doesn't really matter. I'm still going to use this all the time. That shouldn't really matter. There was a lot of fallout in the palette itself, but just knowing how great these perform and how beautifully they blend, it didn't really matter. There was a little fallout underneath my eyes, but again, it came off. Like, as you can see, there's no fallout on my face. So yeah, it came off, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know if I mentioned this. This does retail for $22, which I think is a steal. You get 8 matte shades, 6 shimmer shades, and then you get 2 satin shades, which are the darker shades in the palette right here. So you get a really great variety of formulas. I don't know, I can't say enough great things about this palette. Everyone, you should go buy this, especially if you're in the market for cool tone shadows. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Leave me some love in the comments. Do you own this FFFAM palette? Do you like cool tone shadows? What did you think about this video? What do you think about this halo cut crease? Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm a heavy review channel. I upload videos every Thursday. I'm trying to do more videos a week. I'm hoping to do 2 videos a week. I think this will be the first week where I upload on Monday and Thursday. If you did not see my Monday video, I'm walking you guys through the October favorites. So anything that I loved, beauty related, skincare related in the month of October, that was already up. I will link that video down below. So be sure to subscribe and to get a notification every time I upload a video on my YouTube channel. Just click that bell button. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I had a great time as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, Finders. Mwah.